Do you believe in life after love? Cher does, and I do too. It may seem like you'll never find love again, but trust me, that's not true. I'm going to help you figure out the pattern that's holding you back from love. And I'll give you some heartbreak hacks that will help you forget the zero and get back to being a hero. Hi, I'm Jessica Boss, and I'm here to boss you around yet again with another video about relationships. If you find any of this helpful, please like this video and subscribe to my channel. I'm a relationship expert and I make videos about the modern dating scene. My solution-based approach is to cut the fluff and focus on what you can do right now to make things better, so let's get into it. When we have a bad breakup, it's pretty easy to feel like it means we can never love or be loved again. But it really means the opposite. This is because if you found one person to love, you can find more. And now you're single. The capacity of love and relationships is a learned skill. And while nobody is perfect at it, the first step really is the hardest. The more you date, the easier it gets to do again and again until you find the right person. We don't just get one chance. The only thing that can stop you from loving again is you. Often it's pain that holds us back from loving again. We think that if we just avoid dating altogether, we won't fall in love, and so we won't get hurt. If you think about this more than 2 seconds, you'll realize that it doesn't work that way. Refusing to date won't stop you from falling in love. Remember high school?
Yeah. What?
And trying to avoid romantic love is just trading one kind of pain for another. The pain of loneliness can be even worse than the pain that comes from a broken heart. So if you can't avoid pain, what can you do? You can change how you respond to it. When we get hurt, we tend to wall off this part of ourselves. It's a natural response to damage. There are better ways of dealing with pain. It may feel like you should do all you can do to distract yourself from the pain and the rejection that comes with the end of a relationship. Instead, stop running from it. Give yourself time to really feel it. It hurts, but it's only temporary. Whereas if we push pain down inside of us, it lasts forever and will keep coming out in one form or another. You don't want that. This starts with, surprise, surprise, no contact. If you already cut off your ex, good. If not, do it now. You need them out of your life so you can move on. It's a tough step, but stop talking to them, texting them, looking at their Instagram, everything. You can reconnect at some point down the line. But while you feel like this, it's only going to make things worse. Out of sight, out of mind isn't necessarily true, but if you're looking at them, they're going to be on your mind. Next, I recommend therapy or writing. This is a great way to look at what's causing you pain in a safe environment. Just sitting around and thinking about the breakup isn't constructive. The benefit of therapy or writing is that you get these feelings out of your head and make them concrete so you can look at things more clearly and impartially. This is a key step of moving on. When you're exploring these avenues, try not to look at not just what happened, but why it was so hurtful. Obviously, having your heart broken is hard, but often our pain can be magnified by the way we see ourselves, how much importance we put into our relationships, and how past trauma and our upbringing affects how we relate those we fall in love with. Figuring out the root of our pain is hard, but it can be extremely therapeutic and give us context. We can't just magically stop feeling bad, but figuring out why we're in pain takes away some of its power. Minimizing future pain isn't about walling yourself off from other people. It's really about taking an honest look at the relationship and what wasn't working. Put aside your anger, your sadness, and try to be objective. Since things are truly over, and you know that you won't get back together with this person, you have nothing to gain from self-deficit or blaming. What really drove you two apart? The answer is rarely simple. Even if they ended it, you cheated, or they moved away, there's usually multiple factors at play on both sides that led up to the breakup. I want you to make a list now without judgment. No one else has to see this list. It's just a way to get your thoughts down on paper so you can see them. I want you to answer these questions. It can be helpful not to look at just this one relationship here, but all your past relationships. This way you can see patterns forming and avoid them in the future. What did you do that contributed to your breakup? What did they do that contributed to the breakup? What was the biggest source of disagreement in your relationship? What would you do differently if you had the chance? It can be hard to face these things about yourself, but I believe when you put them on paper, it takes the power away and allows you to be realistic about addressing them. This way, you don't have to get wrapped up in the self-doubt and anger that they bring out in you, and you can just look at them head on. The true answer is that you may have been a saint in your relationship, and they might have been the problem. If this is the case, then you still made a mistake. You chose someone that wasn't right for you, and you stuck by them while they treated you poorly. This list is not about laying blame in the breakup. It's about figuring out how to have a happier, healthier relationship going forward. Now, I'm going to outline a pattern that may be familiar to some of you. You met someone, you jumped into things too fast, you get hurt. You swear off dating because relationships are bullshit and you don't need anyone else. You stay single and alone for a long time, resolute in your plan. Keep others away from you. You start to feel lonely, isolated. You meet someone who gets through your walls and you've been alone for so long that you don't worry about their flaws or red flags. They seem on the surface so different from your last partner. So you jump into things too fast and you get hurt again. And you'll realize they were actually just like your ex. This is a pattern that a lot of people get stuck in. This is because as much as we may not like it, we need other people to survive. This is why putting up walls doesn't work. You're not an island. You can't stand alone. The more you try to keep everyone out, the more vulnerable you will be when someone finally gets past your defenses. So instead of putting up walls, try to live with an open heart. Give people the benefit of the doubt. Date and interact with people who you'd otherwise completely avoid if only to see what it's like. I think you'll be surprised on what they're really like. Don't jump into anything, but be open to new experiences. Try to look at every interaction like this. What can I learn from this person? This way, even if everything goes wrong, you'll gain something positive rather than feeling like you wasted your time. The more time you spend with people of all kinds, the more you'll find bits and pieces that you appreciate. This will make it clear to you what you really want in a partner, so that when the right person comes along, you'll be ready. Sometimes in the process of getting over your ex, we realize we're not ready yet. If this is the case for you, you should go to jessicaboss.com/quiz. It's a comprehensive quiz tool that will tell you whether or not your relationship is worth saving. This can help those looking to give it one more shot with their ex. If not, it's a good way to get closure and move forward. Either way, don't lie. You need to be honest with the quiz or it won't work. Check it out. Be vulnerable in the areas of your life. When people come to me trying to get over heartbreak and move on, they're often surprised by my advice. I tell them that often the biggest steps you can take towards getting over a broken heart has nothing to do with your romantic life. It's about taking risks, plain and simple. I'm not talking about extreme sports. What I'm saying is that you have to be willing to put yourself out there and be vulnerable with people in the situations that have nothing to do with dating. I mean, with friends, family, at work, in your social life. You can't work on your romantic life in a vacuum. You need to gain that resilience in all of the areas of your life to grow stronger, to be able to deal with heartbreak. You should do things that scare you as much as possible. This means talking to people you'd otherwise avoid, taking on new challenges at work, volunteering, accepting offers you normally would turn down, and reach out to people you normally wouldn't. What this specifically looks like to you will depend on you personally. But I think we all know things that we're avoiding because we were afraid or unwilling to get out of our own comfort zone. You need to let go of the idea that you're the certain kind of person that only does certain things because that hasn't worked so far. When you do, you'll discover that you're capable of a lot more than you thought, and the heartbreak you feel right now will be a distant memory. These are just some of the steps on the path to finding love again after a breakup, but you'll notice that they all start with you. This is the most valuable lesson breakups teach us again and again. We cannot make others behave how we'd like them to. There's no magic word that will change their feelings or actions. We're only in charge of how we act and react to others. That may be a scary idea, but it's also empowering. You don't have to wait for someone to come around and change your life. That person is already here. It's you. Thanks for watching, YouTube. What do you think? Is it always possible to continue loving after a breakup? Or are some heartbreaks too tough to bear? Sound off in the comments below if you have any advice for the brokenhearted who want to love again. And while you're here, please subscribe to my channel. I've been Jessica Boss. Mahalo!